Trust. I'm Brian K.
I'm Kyle A.
All right. From hearth to home, where your real estate dreams come alive.
Yeah, another heart melting. I think we're going to keep sampling it up until you get the right one.
That was not the right one.
It was close enough, though.
It said something about home, and that was it.
But you used the word hearth, and that's something that's underneath a fireplace, right?
It could be, yeah.
From hearth to home.
Yeah.
Where your dreams come true.
I like fireplaces.
I like dreams.
Would you, okay, your ideal home, would you have a fireplace in there?
I got one in here.
Okay. In your ideal home, do you like the fireplace in here?
This is my ideal home.
Okay.
I love fireplaces.
So, gas fireplace then for you is what you're going to say.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I have this conversation and this drag out all the time with, I don't know. I think in my living room, I want to have a nice press a button gas fireplace going.
Yeah.
I would love to have a wood fireplace in my bedroom, maybe like, where one side goes to your bedroom, one side to your bathroom, just because of the crackle,
Yeah. Well, wood heat is great. It's really dry. It's really good. However, gas heat is really cheap.
Well, I mean, everything about a gas fireplace is appealing, like the maintenance, the cleanliness, the efficiency of it.
Yep.
But it still don't beat a wood fireplace.
We only pay our gas bill like every 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, because we keep forgetting.
Is it just they turn it off for like
Nope.
6 months and then they turn it back on?
They never turn it off, and it's usually about $10. It's like $10 or $12 a month.
All right.
I think 20 in the wintertime, and that's what we run for heat.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's pretty
Pretty
nice.
darn good.
Electricity's expensive comparative to that. Now, if I can get a gas, light bulbs that worked on gas, man, I'd switch. This whole thing would be loaded with pipes.
That sounds safe.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get on something a little bit less exploding.
Yeah, let's do it.
Something that's popped up in my world a couple times here is backup addendums.
Ooh. So for backup offers?
Backup offers. So
Yeah. That's good. I like that.
I'll tell you this. I've been involved in the last 30 days, I think 3 multiple offer situations.
Wow.
And one of them we are sitting in backup position. Another one we got an offer to. I've talked to some agents that say, yeah, I don't recommend that my buyers do backup offers.
Right.
Well,
because they're going to be out putting other offers in, right?
Well,
they're not just going to wait around for it.
Let's talk about a backup offer. What's a backup offer?
Backup offer is an offer that comes in after the house is already under contract, just in case the house falls out.
Okay. It actually, you could have a multiple offer situation.
Oh, absolutely.
And then
they put you in second position.
Number 2 or number 3 get put in the backup position, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So why would you want to do that? Why, as a buyer, would you want to be in backup position?
Well, if they really, really like the house, I mean, and there are, houses do fall out. They fall out of contract.
Oh my gosh!
All the time.
Talk to your title company and get the numbers. It's scary how many transactions blow up.
But usually, when a house is like in high demand, it usually doesn't fall out. At least I haven't had it. I've had my clients put in backup offers, and they keep looking and resend that offer as soon as they find something else. So I wouldn't hesitate. I wouldn't have them hesitate and stop, because that's that puts them on hold.
Yeah. Okay.
It's great for the seller. Oh yeah.
Okay. Why is it great for the seller?
Well, because they know their house is going to sell.
Tell me more.
They know their house is going to sell. If that one doesn't, if the first...
I said tell me more. I didn't say tell me in like a Sesame Street character kind of voice.
Well, it's a good situation. It makes it for them to feel confident. Hey, look, we got this going on right now. If it falls out, we got another person, and that's about the only advantage I can see to that. They know their house is going to sell. Now, if their listing agent already knew that this house was going to be hot, I would have been coming back with them with a right to continue marketing. That's my preference. Let it let it go up.
Yeah.
You know, put in the right contingencies that you want them to be able to drop. You know, make it fun.
So for the buyers, I think that it's a good position. I've coached a lot of buyers over the years that, you know, when you see a house, and obviously you must like it if you're writing an offer.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you put in a backup offer, first off, you now know you have second rights to that house.
Yep.
If you have negotiated a backup offer and you're in backup position, if something happens the first position, you automatically are now under contract, right? There's no more negotiations back and forth.
Right.
The seller can't come back to you and go, well, you know, the last offer was 30 grand higher, right? Your buyer knows that they have that opportunity.
Right.
And they get to keep shopping.
Absolutely.
Right? The good thing for the sellers is the leverage.
Yep.
Right? When you're going through that negotiation period with your first offer, you can be like, well, you know, you can tell me to put a $30,000 roof on the house, or I can just tell you to pound sand and we'll take this backup offer.
Right. Absolutely. And that's why I think going to a right to continue marketing is actually got a little more leverage for the seller.
Now, as a buyer, you can potentially hurt yourself. Okay, so think about this.
Tell me more.
So you empower the seller. I just told you, as a seller, you get leverage.
Absolutely.
Now that house that you want, that you're in backup offer of, they're using your backup offer to keep their first deal together.
Absolutely.
So you gotta weigh that. And here's what I say: don't do that on a lighthearted, oh well, whatever.
Yeah.
If you choose to go down that path, it's the right house for you. There's a reason that you're doing that. And you never know. Real estate is very, very fluid. It's constantly changing.
Absolutely. And my clients have written several backup offers and not once got it accepted. You know, none of them ever fell out of contract. So
I have.
boom.
And it doesn't always happen.
Nope.
And I would say
But
that
it does happen.
the times that I've been in it, I've probably had about a 30% ratio.
No kidding.
Because
that's
that's
good.
about what the fallout ratio is.
That's pretty good.
You know, you talk to some of the title companies, and that's about where the fallouts are. So
Yeah, I mean, you know, talking to the other agent when it's under contract, hey, how confident are you guys in these guys? I mean, that's a good way to start. It's like, are they really highly qualified? Are they motivated buyers? I mean, is everything going good? You know, and they'll be like, yes or no. Like, oh, well, we would take a backup offer. We're really not confident in them. Or nah, no sense of writing. And we're going to town on this one. So we're going to closing town.
watch out.
Yeah,
Watch out now. Hey, so I used to be a mechanic. Did you know that?
I did.
Have you ever heard of a mechanics lien?
Yes.
Okay. Is that where you work on a car?
No.
Where
But
you lean on the car?
I think so.
Mechanic leans on the...
Mechanics lien. I'm going to take a stab at this. I think it would have to do with somebody doing work in your home, and you, the seller or the homeowner, did not pay them.
Oh. Okay, so you didn't pay him.
So they're going to slap a lien on your property, and I'm not quite sure what the rules are around that. I actually haven't dealt with mechanic liens. I've dealt with hospital liens and tax liens, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know the outcome of that is you can pay it right out at title.
Sure.
So you tell me, what are the stipulations? I think, isn't there like a 90-day window that you can have it, and then you have to reapply?
Check with your county. Check with
Yep.
your local enforcers. So for our HOA, if we were to apply a lien, which essentially would be a mechanics lien, even though we're not mechanics, and maybe there are some people in our community that are mechanics, but so they're the only people applying the lien. Yeah. So if we want to apply a lien against a house in our community that's not paid their dues,
Right.
what I've been told is you have to resubmit that every 6 months.
Okay.
So the other day, a homeowner in my community called me up, said, "Hey, I've got a lien against my house from the HOA from 2008." And I said, "Well, that's interesting because A, they don't last that long, and B, that was well before I ever got involved in the HOA and everything." And I talked to the title company, and they ran it back through title like, I think this is an expired lien.
Right.
But essentially, what it's there to do is to protect contractors. Here's the scenario. House needs work.
Right.
Obviously, if you fix up the house, you new carpet, new paint, whatever it might be, you stand to sell that house for more.
Absolutely.
So seller Johnny on the spot over here, seller Johnny decides to hire a contractor. Contractor comes out, does $5,000 in work. New trim, new paint, fixed a broken window. And seller sold the house and said, "Peace out, yo."
Yep.
Johnny hasn't got paid. So there's a good chance that Johnny will go in and apply a mechanics lien
Yep.
to that house.
Actually, I have had a mechanic lien applied to the house intentionally. So what we did is for the seller, they needed to have a chimney fixed on it. It was like $9,000. They didn't have the funds to do it. So I got my chimney guy in there and said, "Hey, would you be willing to fix this and put a mechanic lien on the property?" He said, "Heck yeah." The seller was happy. He was happy. Went into title, sold. Everybody got paid.
Yeah.
So you can use those as a tool.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that's a smart way to go. So especially if you're, like I said, if you're a seller without having the funds, get her done.
Yeah. So now we tie all this back to additional title insurance. And one of the things that it covers in our area is the possibility of mechanics liens. And this is what I talk to my buyers. It varies how much extra it costs, but we're talking like $500, maybe $1,000 on like a $500, $600, $800,000 purchase. That ain't squat. That is cheap insurance. And what that does, let's say you go and you're writing an offer on a house that has new flooring.
And a new roof.
You've got a new window. You can tell that they obviously just did stuff. It behooves you to go ahead and get that. It could help you in a new construction scenario, and I don't want to, talk to a lawyer, an attorney, and whatever else. But those generally, I mean, the new construction people are paying their contractors, right? The big builders around here that are cranking out 20, 30 houses a month.
Yep.
They're not. Those aren't the ones that you're worried about the additional title.
There's some weird stuff that can happen with mechanic liens. Good example. One of my good friends called me up. He goes, "Hey, do you know anything about mechanic liens?" I said, "Well, tell me what's going on." He had a guy do some concrete work for him. The concrete worker, the guy who did the actual labor, didn't pay the concrete company for the concrete, and the concrete company came and slapped a lien on his house for what the contractor owed.
Yeah.
Now that didn't fly over well.
No.
It didn't fly over well. The city, they removed it because it wasn't his fault. He paid the contractor.
Yeah.
So, but that and stuff like that happens. So it's good to make sure you know what you're getting into. And if you do see something like that, you can always ask, "Hey, you got any receipts on this work done?" Mm-hmm. That's a good starting point. And generally, if there's a lien on it, depending on how fast, depending on when their bill was due and they didn't pay it, then title's going to find it.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Especially if it's an older one.
Mm-hmm.
But with the newer stuff, I think you've got a good point there. That's actually pretty darn smart, Brian K.
Well, it comes from someone getting burned.
Yep.
Right? I mean, it's something that... So we've talked a lot about NAR settlements and all this, and what it boils down to, in my opinion, is... It's another day in paradise.
Absolutely.
We're blessed to be doing what we're doing,
Amen.
and we need to show our value.
Absolutely.
Right? And so too many people think that we don't do anything as realtors, right?
Yeah,
and there is so much out there that can go wrong in a real estate transaction. I pray that every one of my clients thinks, "My gosh, he didn't do anything." I want that transaction to be that smooth. Every one of them. And very rarely do they actually happen like that.
Oh boy, I just got off the phone with a long-term client, good friend of mine, and we were talking about the settlement. And she's like, "Well, I think homeowners are fed up with the cost of having to sell a house." And I'm like, "Well, go find a real estate lawyer and see how that's going to work out for you. It's probably not going to work out very well for you. You can for sell by owner it. That's probably not going to be very helpful to you either, especially if you don't have the contracts, don't know the contracts, don't understand the stipulations of it. That's why we're middlemen. There's just not enough lawyers, for one. They're going to be more expensive. And number two, you do a FSBO, odds are you're going to have a really hard experience. And then you got other listing options where someone will just, you take your own pictures, and you can list it on the MLS, and every time you give them a call and you want some advice, it's going to cha-ching, 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 And it's not that we're like in this high position to where, we think we're special, but we work our butts off for what money we do make. And if you think about it, you got a buyer that you've been working with for 2 years. You've saw 70 homes. You've drove 5,000 miles, right?
I'm on 5 years with one buyer right now.
There you go. Now, you get a commission off of that. What did you make per hour? Minimum wage, if that. Now, there's times where we get in and, hey, man, we spent 20 hours because they were hot and ready to go, and we did pretty good. But wait a second. We got our brokerage fees. We got all of our other fees, not only just to keep up with our education. Like, I'm doing 90 hours for Washington right now.
Yeah.
That costs money. That costs time.
That's time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, when I was a mechanic, the funny thing was you'd tell someone, okay, well, to do this engine job, brake job, training job, whatever, $1,000. Mm-hmm. Okay. How long is it going to take? Well, it's book time is 10 hours.
Right.
$100 an hour, $1,000. Okay. Well, in the mechanic's done in like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then the customer wants to pay $500. And it's like, no, this guy's been busting his butt for 30 years.
Right.
He's got a toolbox that costs as much as your house.
Right.
With every correct tool, that little thing. You want that? No, you can't match that. And that's the experience that you're paying for in a real estate agent. You're paying for the people that have come before you. Right. And that agent has successfully navigated those turmoil waters and that ocean. The best thing that an agent can do is prepare you to not go down those rabbit holes.
Absolutely.
Right? So that you don't have to have the explosions, so that you don't have to have the knockout, drag-out fights, so that you don't have to be back at the negotiation tables going, what the heck? I thought you said...
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of seller concessions on the table. I mean, that's a navigating point,
Yeah. Ultimately, though, it comes back down to we need to know our value as agents. And I think that, you know what? I think open houses are going to be interesting.
I'm going to be having fun. I'm going to be having fun with that. And no matter what happens, I think, like when I was talking with my client today and my friend, is I can see a shift in buyers going to the listing agent. But here's the real conflict here. Now you get in a dual agency situation where you're not going to be able to represent your client and advocate for their best interest. That's when you have to draw a solid line down, and you can say, well, you can do this, this, or this. Mm-hmm. And you can't go, well, this is what we need to do, because what you're ultimately doing is you're trying to take advantage one way or the other. And there's no advantage to be taken when you're representing both sides of that party. Both parties, I mean. Yep. And that, my friend, that's going to be some fun water.
It's challenging. Yep. Representing both sides of the transaction tests your ethics and morals, without a doubt. And you can, I think that, and I know there's a lot of agents out there that will just say, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I don't do dual agency. I've got someone that I pass out to, things like that. We really don't know what's coming down the line. But again, it goes back to know your value.
Absolutely.
And agents are going to be tested on that more and more coming up here in the next, I'd say, year to 2 years. There's going to be, without a doubt, there's going to be a change in what we do and how we do it.
Right.
What won't change is that we still are professionals.
Absolutely.
We still have duties to our clients.
Absolutely.
Okay. Not to our customers, right? If
Well,
you're
there's duties that we have to
Sure.
our customers.
I have
You
to
get a higher level of
but I
duties.
do not have to go show you a house.
Right.
I do not have to send you any information.
Right.
I don't have to work on your behalf. If I
Right.
choose to, I can.
Right.
But do you want to retell your story 47 times
Yeah.
to 47 different agents, or do you want someone who's
Build that relationship.
on
man.
your side?
Right.
And helping you through the process. Someone who sits down. Here's where a lot of this can be taken care of. A good consultation up front.
Absolutely. I agree.
Helping your clients find the way. But my gosh, that is a long conversation. We could dive off into the Never Never Land.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Is that a movie?
I don't have any idea. I'm not really a movie guy.
Neverland wasn't like the Never-Ending Story. No, oh, there's never in it.
That's good.
Wow,
Captivating.
never say never.
Riveting.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. This is Real Contrast with Brian K.
Kyle A.
Y'all have a good day.
That's what we say.
Keep it. Hey.
Do you want to play?
Say.
Nay.